back to another episode of the Drunk Bond Podcast. Hi. I know, it's been a while. Do I need to explain myself? Sorry, what do you want me to say? It's been a while. Smythe, you recorded You Only Live Twice like a year ago. Said all the other Bond movies, wheels were in motion. They were all going to be finished. Maybe even do some Rocky movies. Well, that was a year ago. I was a different man back then. Sorry, it's been a while. I don't know much to say about it, really. I had another kid, if that counts. That's the second one, if you're counting at home, and I have been counting at home. And you're thinking, well, I'll be damned. Smythe had sex again. That's right. I've had sex twice in my life. 2 for 2. But enough about those damn kids. I'm over them. Let's talk Bond, okay? Today we'll be discussing, here we go. Here it is. The 1983 flick, Octopussy, that's right. Now, if you're a long-time listener, you'll know pretty much every episode I mention Octopussy. And in my last ranking, Octopussy was my number one movie. So, this is the big one. If you're a long-time listener as well, you'll also remember that I'm not very good at telling you why I either like or don't like a movie. So I don't know if I'm going to do a very good job of explaining why it's my number one movie. But I'll go through the whole thing if you want me to. I'll do it, sure. What am I drinking today? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I think I've had this before on an episode. It's the traditional daiquiri. Rum, lime, simple syrup. I'm using Calio rum. You've probably never heard of it. It's a guy out of New Orleans. I was in New Orleans a while back, and I found some rum Barbancourt, and the owner said, this local guy makes Calio rum out of, his house. So I thought when I was going to drink it, I was going to go blind or something like moonshine. But he's been sending it into blind taste tests in San Francisco, and he's been winning, awards for it. So I got some, and it's fantastic. It's stronger than usual. I think that it's a little bit higher proof. But, the traditional daiquiri has just become one of my favorite, if not, my go-to drink at home. I've been drinking so many different things since the last time I recorded. I don't drink as much anymore, Coffee's taking the place of alcohol. I get excited about cups of coffee. I only have, 2 drinks now on Friday and 2 drinks on Saturday. That's no fun. How many people just turned off the podcast right there? I thought this was supposed to be the Drunk Bond podcast. This is where I come to feel better about myself. This guy who's pushing 40 sits around talking Bond movies while he's drinking too much. That's a good way to feel better about yourself, right? And not just talking Bond movies, talking about Bond movies for the second time. He's already done this. He's doing it for a second time. But now you don't get to feel as good about yourself, huh? I'm not giving you that anymore. So deal with it. That's on you. Other drinks I've been drinking lately? I didn't switch full time, but to gin martinis, a dry gin martini with a lemon peel. Very refreshing. What else have I been drinking? I don't know. For Thanksgiving, I had a apple cider old fashioned. Phenomenal. I'm a big eggnog guy. I think I've had eggnog on the show before. I've been drinking all kind of things. Don't worry about it. I don't get to drink it as much as I'd like, but I've been drinking. Don't worry. You rest your head at night knowing Smythe is still drinking, just not as much. So anyway, let's get to Octopussy. Directed by John Glenn. He did For Your Eyes Only. He did 5 movies in a row or something. For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to a Kill, and both Dalton movies. So John Glenn, he's a good shit. And I think they were going to cast, you never know with all this shit. They were going to cast James Brolin as James Bond. I don't know if that's real or not. But since Connery signed on to do Never Say Never Again, they said, well, we gotta stick with our guy. We gotta stick with the established actor. I'm not getting into Never Say Never Again. I can't talk about Kevin McClory. We have no time for a McClory story. All right? But he was doing his little fucking dog and pony show, and this is what kind of forced their hand to bring Roger back. And yeah, I guess we can just get started. Let's just do the damn thing. So we start out with a gun barrel and a PTS. I love this PTS. Now, be prepared for a lot of love the whole time, but this pre-title sequence is so much fun. Bond shows up as a horse trainer and then dresses as a General Toro. Sounds like a load of bull. And meets up with this just smoking hot lady. It's just fun already. And he walks into the hangar. I don't know what country this is, maybe Cuba or something. But he's there to plant some bomb. He's just there to blow shit to Beijing, basically. And he's instantly caught right when he walks in. Because the real Toro's already there. Stupid. You know, a fake ID doesn't really work if the real person's around. You don't go to a bar with a fake ID that says St. John Smythe when the real fucking St. John Smythe is right behind you. That's just dumb. Oh, you're a Toro too. You're a St. John Smythe too. So they take him away in this truck. But I think he does plant the bomb before they can do that. And the guards get distracted by that same girl from earlier. And Bond, meanwhile, gets on the girl's truck and gets into this horse trailer that turns into a mini plane. It's kind of a little confusing. It's kind of silly, but it turns into this mini plane, which is just fantastic. So he starts flying this plane. They're firing rockets at him. They're all chasing him and everything. And he flies into the hangar where he was before, where he planted the bomb. The rocket follows him in there. They close the doors right after he goes in. The rocket goes into the hangar, explodes. It's just fantastic. Those people at the horse race that they're at must be like, what the fuck is happening? Did you see that hangar just explode? And I don't mean just explode. It was like Nagasaki right there. And Bond lands a little, I can't remember what the little plane's called. The Astro something? I don't know. But he runs out of fuel and he goes to the gas station and says, fill her up, please. And there you go. There's your pre-title sequence. Yeah, this is just like one of those old school pre-title sequences. This is one that truly has nothing to do with the plot. There's never a mention of anything about the plot. Because all like the Tomorrow Never Dies, the Goldfinger, they at least like mention, I gotta go to Miami. Tomorrow Never Dies, there's something about the, what's that stupid ass guy's name? But usually they have some sort of reference to the plot. This is zero. And it's just so much fun. I think John Glenn said he's like one of his most proud scenes he ever shot, because they used like every single thing they had on hand to get this effect done. Because it was like a miniature warehouse, the way they got the glider into the hangar. It's just a freaking cool scene. So anyway, go check it out. You know, don't just rely on me. Go check it out. And we go to a title sequence and the song All Time High by Rita Coolidge. I'm not a big fan of the title sequence. The 80s title sequences, they're just not great. But I do love this song. I don't know if it's just because I'm in a good mood because I'm about to watch Octopussy. That might be it. But I love it. Goddamn, this daiquiri it's just fantastic. I love it. I'm in the minority there. I think this is the first song they don't say the title of the movie in it. I think Spy Who Loved Me was the first song that wasn't titled the same as the movie. But it's kind of hard to sneak Octopussy into a song, right? You know? How would you do that? Octopussy, no, let's see. 8 fingers. She's the woman named Octopussy. And she's very busy. Hey, there you go, right there. I just got it in there. And that's just off the top of my head, too. And I'm not even believe it or not, I'm not even a songwriter. So imagine what a professional could do. They could have done it. They're just lazy. But I still enjoy All Time High. So anyway, we got to the circus in East Berlin. The bad Berlin. And this clown's running from the Dustin Hoffman twins. My old co-host called these guys the Dustin Hoffman twins because he thought they looked like Dustin Hoffman. And they're knife throwers. And the clown is 009. And he's running from... Sounds silly on paper, but it's actually kind of scary. And he's running away from these knife-wielding maniacs. And he ends up getting killed. And he falls into like the British ambassador's room with this Fabergé egg. Really sees the mission through. You know, God bless him for that. Maybe lose the balloon. He's still holding a balloon. Probably should have lost that. And the British ambassador says, get this clown out of here. No, that's a bad joke. But they're all horrified because they're about to go have like dinner somewhere. You know, they're going to a sexy party. They don't want to see a dead clown in their office. That's no fun. That'll ruin your buzz. So we cut to Bond going to M's office. And he meets with Moneypenny and Penelope Smallbone. That's the Moneypenny's, I guess, assistant. Was she supposed to be the new Moneypenny? Were they just assuming that Roger was going to be there forever? Were they setting up a new Moneypenny? I don't know. We never really did get that answer. I'd like to be in that meeting for the scriptwriters or the producers saying, so what should we call her? Well, let's start with Bone. I feel like we haven't used Bone in anyone's name yet. And Cubby was like, well, that's smart. First of all, you're getting a raise. Go on. Just Penelope. Penelope Smallbone. Okay. Why small, not big bone? because of, big penises. That's funny. That's funny for everybody. No, let's just put a small bone. Small bone's fine. All right, well, that's settled. Lunch. It's kind of getting a little rough to watch Bond and Moneypenny flirt, though. She's pretty long in the tooth at this point. Now, I always picture them having sex, from Dr. No on. That's just my job as a fan. I look at Bond and Moneypenny and I picture them having sex the entire time they're talking. And it's getting a little difficult at this point. It's getting a little gross. Not to be ageist, but I don't want to picture these 65-year-olds banging it out. That's just me. And we cut to the new M, Minister Gray, eyebrow M. I think this is his first movie, right? Yeah. And Jim Fanning, the guy in the bow tie, telling about Fabergé eggs. And one was sold, so 009, had the Fabergé egg when he got killed. There's Fabergé eggs being sold recently at auction. He's saying possibly Russian vendors, since they killed 009 carrying the egg. Find out why they're raising money, etc. I don't know. Now follow that egg, though, because God knows I can't. So the one that 009 came up with is fake. And a real one is being auctioned at Sotheby's or whatever. And, find out who the seller is. Now, you follow that egg, because I can't. I just don't have the wits about me to do it. And I bet you can't. So we cut to a meeting room in dirty Russia. And Gogol's talking about NATO or whatever. They're just talking about, I don't know, just diplomacy, bullshit, evil things. And there's another General Orlov. Oh, he wants to get some things off his chest. He's just itching to just say some things. And Orlov's like, you know what? We got troops in Germany and Russia. Let's just conquer all of Europe. I got all the troops. He really breaks it down simply. Hey, they're all at the border. Let's just have them, surprise attack. Let's just kill everybody. It's creative, right? And Gogol's like, this is absolute madness. He's just basically like, fuck off, dude. You're insane. And if we do this, the West is going to respond with nuclear bombs. And Orlov's like, no, they won't, because they're decadent. It's like, well, case closed. If they're decadent, why didn't you say that earlier? They're decadent. They're not going to nuke anybody. It's not like the West has nuked anybody before, right? And Gogol's like, all right, dude, get away. And Orlov sits down and pouts like he just asked for a treat from his parents and they said no. Mom, Gogol won't let me take over Europe. And his secretary comes to Orlov and she's like, hey, someone's on the phone, something about smuggling out precious artifacts out of our country for a profit. And Orlov's like, shh. So we cut to the Kremlin art repository and a Dustin Hoffman twin. I think just one Dustin Hoffman twin. And Orlov are talking with this egg maker. And he's pissed because they lost a replica and he wants the real egg back. So that checks out. The one 009 had was a fake. And now they want the real one back. So that's the one that's being auctioned at Sotheby's that M was talking about. Okay. They have an inventory check in a couple of days. So, we're all in deep shit. Get the real egg back so no one's the wiser. So we go to the auction. I mean, who doesn't love this scene, honestly? It's one of the great Bond scenes, one of the great Roger Moore scenes. Kamal Khan, who's our villain, and Bond are competing for the real egg. Bond's just there to check things out. And he just starts bidding out of the blue. And Jim Fanning is losing his shit because they don't have the money. It's Great Britain. They don't have the cash. And it's supposed to sell for $250 to $300. Bond gets it up to $500. Switches the egg that he has, the fake one, with the real one. So now Bond has the real one, I think. And Khan wins the fake egg. It's called Property of a Lady, which, as you know, if you're a Bond fan at all, Property of a Lady is one of the last Fleming titles to never be used. And it's always rumored that the next Bond movie is going to be called Property of a Lady. I don't know why. There are a few ladies here. Magda walks in. Now there is a lady. I'll tell you what, I love Kamal Khan's suit here, man. Boy, ever since I've started following the Bond Experience on YouTube, it's gotten me to notice the clothing, the style. Kamal Khan's looking sharp in this scene. And Khan wins the egg, and Bond follows him outside and sees Gobinda, and Bond's like, oh, okay, that's a henchman. Kamal Khan's our man. He has a girl with him who's crazy hot, staring daggers at me. He has a nice car. He has a henchman driver with a turban on. That's our guy. I've been in enough Bond movies to know that's our man. So there's your auction scene. A wonderful scene. Check it out. And back to M's office. He's fucking pissed. And Roger's like, dude, relax, guy. It's your first fucking movie. Cool it. I know what I'm doing. You ever seen my movies? If he's legit, then he'll complain, hey, it's a fake fucking egg, because Bond switched it. And if he's not legit, he's not going to complain. So we'll smoke him out, whatever that phrase is. So Bond follows Kamal Khan to Delhi? How do you pronounce that? I don't have the time to look it up. And he meets with his contact VJ, who's playing the Bond theme, which I don't know, I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's like breaking the fourth wall kind of thing. He's posing as a snake charmer. And he's like, oh, this was the wrong cover. I hate snakes. And just drops a like very poisonous snake in the middle of this little dock. And people must be like getting killed. I mean, that's a very deadly, venomous snake that he just let go. So chalk up a few deaths to VJ right there. Oh boy. Calio rum. Delicious. Fresh lime juice. If I hear that anyone is using that like pre-packaged in those green containers at the store, I'm going to find you and I'm going to fight you. Fresh lime juice. It takes 2 seconds. Fresh lemon juice. Makes all the difference. I can't drink most restaurant margaritas anymore because like that fake lime juice just tastes like that. Fresh, guys. Fresh. Do yourself a favor. Have some respect for yourself. Have some respect for your drink. Have some respect for your buzz. What was I talking about? Octopussy? So Bond checks into his hotel. And Kamal Khan's playing backgammon against some fucking idiot. This is another great scene. Does anyone not like this scene? I love when... This is one of these great things that they used to do a lot. Well, actually, they did with Daniel Craig a bit. Every girl is just staring at Bond and just smiling at him. I just love that. The girl that checks him into his room. If I can be of any further assistance, anything at all. And Roger goes, maybe later. I love the just not letting anything go. You have to hit on every girl. So yeah, Kamal Khan's playing that moron. Doesn't realize he's getting a 6 every single time he needs it. And he always uses his own dice. It's like the Goldfinger stooge. Like, y'all deserve to lose your money. Always a double 6 when you need it. Always. So he offers to double it. And the retard is like, no, not with your luck. And Bond's like, I would have taken that bet. Then why don't you, Mr. Bond, James Bond? So Bond sits down, loses, because Kamal's playing with loaded die, and he doubles the 100, and he says his collateral is the Fabergé egg. So, okay, now we've got, there's another similarity with Goldfinger. Kind of like with the gold bar and all that. Now we're cooking with oil. You need a great deal of luck. And Bond says, oh, luck, then I use player's privilege, and takes Kamal Khan's dice. It's all in the wrist, and he rolls a double 6. It's one of the great scenes because Roger rolls the dice and just keeps staring at Kamal Khan and says, double 6s, fancy that. It's just fantastic. Spin the money quickly, Mr. Bond. And Gobinda cracks the dice. Another Goldfinger similarity. Odd job crushing the ball, Gobinda crushing the dice. I never even realized that. And Bond says, it's not really in the wrist, you know. Yeah, we know. We know what you did. You kind of just ruined the whole thing by saying that, but, you know. Yeah, this is like, even if you're not an Octopussy fan, everyone loves this scene. This was the first scene I ever saw. Now when Sid Smythe was a young lad, as you know, again, if you're a long-time listener, I played the GoldenEye game, then I watched the GoldenEye movie. And then for Christmas that year, before Tomorrow Never Dies, they had a Bond marathon on TBS. The first movie I watched was Octopussy. The first scene I saw was this one. And it was Roger walking in with a white tuxedo, white jacket. And I was like, oh shit, it's James Bond in a tuxedo. I thought Pierce Brosnan was Bond in every movie. So I was like, wait, who's that guy? How many Bond movies has he been in? How many Bond actors have there been? How many movies are there? How long has this been going on? I had a lot of questions. Yeah, a young Sid Smythe. But he meets a girl, he gets a drink, he does James Bond, he outsmarts the villain, there's the henchman there's the ally, it had like everything. And I just was like, I was hooked after this scene. It was the greatest scene to start on. And the scene's also taken partially from the Moonraker novel. Spin the money quickly, Mr. Bond. There's a fun fact. I haven't hit you with one of those yet, have I? Fun fact. Moonraker novel, which is the best novel of all the Fleming books, by the way. So anyway, after that, Gobinda chases Bond in those little, like, 3-wheel golf carts, basically. Gobinda's not fucking around, man. He takes out one of those, he just loads a shotgun. It looks like he's going to the first Thanksgiving, like a pilgrim shotgun. And a lot of hijinks ensues. He's just ready to blow Bond's head off of that thing. A pretty cool chase. Just the jokes and the cheese We've got company. Well, good. This is a company car. They got the tennis match going because VJ's a tennis player in real life. Thank goodness for hard currency. You better stick this back. Easy come, easy go. It's like, all right, guys, enough. I think we got it. I think we got enough jokes. And then just like random people start attacking Bond. Like, who the fuck are you? He just keeps taking all the dirty gypsy shit and murders henchmen with it. Just taking swords and like that bed of coals and a nail bed. So he's still driving away from Gobinda. He drives through this paper door and then put a new one down. And then Gobinda, he's just embarrassed. He doesn't know where Bond went. What the hell happened? Now, honest to God, well, why is that paper door there? Did Q just say, just in case? Just in case. You're in a little chase. You just know to go down this alley, and you drive through, and someone will be there, I guess, to put the paper down right away so that they'll be none the wiser. Just in case. That is convenient. Anyway, he gets away, and Gobinda feels like an asshole. So, to Q's lab, he gives the Fabergé egg to Q, and Q puts a microphone in it. All kind of hijinks again in Q's lab. Having trouble keeping it up, Q. Zooming in on that secretary's breasts over and over. The door smashing Q. And it's just a lot. So the recording device that's in the Fabergé egg, that's the real Fabergé egg. That's the one that Roger stole. So I think. Okay, that's the one that Roger got, the real one, from the auction. So that's the real egg. We can do this. I know we can. So back at the hotel, Magda meets him for dinner. Another great scene. He says, Kamal Khan wants to offer you a trade. The egg for your life. I heard the price of eggs was going up, but isn't that a little high? And they're just like, why don't we just go have sex about it? You know, and they do it all the different ways. You know what I mean? You know? And if you ever want to know why I love Roger Moore, just watch this scene. I mean, it might get forgotten a little bit, but just the way he is in bed, I love the music in it. She says, I need refilling. Of course you do. It just gives her more champagne. The look on his face when she says, that's my little Octopussy, and he takes like a triple take. He looks 3 different ways. It's fantastic. So after a while, Magda steals the egg with the microphone planted in it and jumps out the window to Kamal's car. And Roger's like, oh, well, you know, see you later. And Gobinda smokes him on the head with something and captures him. So they go to Octopussy's lair. And Kamal Khan meets him there. Every time Kamal Khan goes to Octopussy's house, he must be thinking, this is a fucking hell of a lair. One can only aspire to this kind of level of lair. And she's not even a villain. And Khan shows her the egg, and Octopussy's not happy that it was stolen. So I guess Octopussy thinks that's the one that was stolen at the beginning of the movie, but it's not. It's the real one, I think. Roger switched it. So Kamal Khan starts telling Octopussy about Bond. His name is James Bond. Bring him to me. He is very dangerous. Bring him, I said. Did I stutter? Hey, Kamal Khan, riddle me this. Is this movie called Khan or Octopussy? Yeah, it's called Octopussy, isn't it? Bring his ass over here to me. Get the hell out of my room. But you're making a serious mistake. I'm sorry. Who's that speaking? Is someone speaking? Bring him over here, asshole. So meanwhile, Bond joins Kamal Khan for dinner. Stuffed sheep's head. Luckily, they had a perfectly tailored tux for Bond for when he got there. And Kamal's like, I think you and Magda have already met. And Bond's like, it was a pleasure. And Magda's like, bah, I love you. I love you so much. Sorry. Was that too... Am I coming on too strong? Sorry. This guy's very charming. So they start eating eyeballs, as you do. Well, why is it even black tie dinner for this? It's just a couple of people having dinner. When he sees that eyeball, he looks away like, these fucking countries I have to go to. Why do they eat this shit? Can I get a cheeseburger? Some eggs? Can I just have that fruit bowl? There's a fruit bowl in the middle of that table. Can I just have that? I mean, that's high-grade produce, I bet. It's grapes and bananas? Let me just have that. A little snack. And he's like, why am I here? You have the egg. And Kamal's like, we do, but we don't have all the answers. And Bond's like, yeah, but you said the egg for my life. That was the deal. You have the egg. Now, it should be done. So that just makes you a fucking liar, man. And Kamal Khan, he didn't know what to say. He wasn't expecting that kind of zinger. So he's like, go to bed, because I don't have anything else to talk about. They talk torture for a while, as you do over dinner, but that's about it. It's like a 30-second dinner. Bond sees the sheep head, and he's like, I don't want that eyeball. And they talk for a minute, and he's like, all right, I'm getting a little sleepy. I love this. Ask Magda for a nightcap, and Gobinda just blocks him. And then Gobinda walks into his room. I don't suppose you care for a nightcap? No. So Bond escapes his room after, about as long as dinner took, about 30 seconds. Watches Magda undress. He waits there for about 15, 20 minutes. And meanwhile, Orlov arrives to inspect the eggs or whatever. I don't even know why Orlov's there. Just egg business. And Bond's listening because they have the recording device. You remember the recording device. I have to keep saying it. And Orlov destroys the egg. So I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I'm out of answers. It's the real egg, right? It's the real egg. So, but now clearly Orlov doesn't know that because he just destroyed it. Does Kamal Khan know it's the real egg? Does it matter? I don't know. It's hard to follow, but I'm pretty sure it's the real egg. I had to pop 300 milligrams of Adderall just to follow the egg, where the egg was going. And, one hospital visit later, I still don't know. The doctor assumed it was a suicide attempt. He said, "Sir, was this a cry for help?" I said, "Yes, as in someone help me follow the Fabergé egg and Octopussy." And he said, "Well, clearly you're out of your mind, so we're going to keep you here for further evaluation. Your heart rate was at 245 beats a minute." I said, is that good? So anyway, Magda sees Bond escape. And she's just cool with it. She's I actually never noticed this. Magda sees him escape. I don't know why. It's not that important. I just thought I'd share it with you because it's the first time I ever noticed that Magda sees Bond escape and was cool with it. So I guess this is when she turns. Having Bond inside of her didn't hurt either, but now it's official. And by the way, speaking of style, Roger is just rocking the shit out of that safari suit, right? Roger Moore can wear a safari suit. That's another lucky one. He was going through that closet. He had a well-tailored tuxedo in there. And after he escapes, he's like, "Oh, a safari suit? Fucking right, man. Everything's going my way." So after he's listening to Orlov and Khan talk about God knows what, they come out, so he hides in a freezer, and there's just general dead bodies in there. There's 7 dead bodies. Who the fuck are they? And Gobinda walks in because he hears something. It's everything okay? Yep, cattle and dead bodies. Everything's normal. They're eating steaks later. It's so was this meat kept in the same freezer as those dead guys? Because I don't know if I want to be eating this meat anymore, man. It's kind of gross. That's not going to pass FDA standards. That's not cool. RFK Jr. is going to put a stop to that stuff like that, man. So the next morning, Bond hides in one of the body bags from those poor pricks in the freezer. And when they're dumping them out, I love how they just dump these dead bodies in a field next to the house. They don't have hey, we killed so many people this week. Where do you want to put them? Oh, well, right there. There's just a field right there. There's not even a ditch. It's just a pile of, and they're dumping them in a hole where there's already a bunch of bones. There's not a stench coming off of that. Things are going to get pretty smelly over there. But they don't care. They just dump dead bodies right there. Good for them. Everyone that must show up to Kamal Khan's house, God, what is that fucking smell? Oh, it's 12 dead bodies. There's some fresh ones. It's 12 dead bodies. Right, you can see it from here, actually. You see that? Right there. You can't just put them in the river? Let them float off and become someone else's business? So anyway, Bond escapes. They hunt him down on elephants. It's kind of silly. I'll give you that. He comes across a tiger, snakes, leeches. He does a Tarzan yell. It's a little silly. I'm not sure why they couldn't just get a helicopter of some kind and get an overview of the jungle. Orlov showed up in a helicopter, so there is a helicopter there. But they just, what's the fun in that, right? And Bond escapes on this tourist boat, and they don't shoot for some reason. "Are you with our group?" "No, ma'am, I'm with the economy tour." Hey, Michael G. Wilson in cameo right here. That boat that Roger gets on? Michael G. Wilson. So, write that down. So Bond eventually sneaks into Octopussy's lair in that alligator, which I don't know how this thing works. Is he laying down? Is he standing up in it? It's an odd gadget. Hey, you get to see a nude shot of Maud. So that's fun. She didn't know this was going to be in HD later, but we get to see her naked, and it's fun. And when Bond gets there, she already has a martini waiting for him in a cocktail shaker. She's an awful bartender. because she's really just half-assing this shaking, and it's just not going to be a good martini. I could just feel it. So apparently Bond was sent to arrest her dad like years earlier for something. I don't know what. Smuggling, just general crime. And he basically gave him 24 hours, I don't know, and he chose to kill himself instead. So, happy story for everybody. And Octopussy's like, I really appreciate that. Thanks for letting me and my dad kill himself. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Anytime I can help, just let me know. This is from a novel. I think this is from the Octopussy novel, which is, I think, the only thing they used from that novel. Another fun fact. Try to keep up. So Kamal Khan comes in and sees that Bond is hitting off with Octopussy, and he's like, son of a bitch. I've had it with this guy. I've tried like 4 times to kill him, and now he's cahooting and cavorting with kind of my partner in crime, and this is not good. My father's pet name for me was Octopussy. Now, granted, I'm a new dad, and I don't have a daughter. I have 2 boys. But I don't think you should have the word pussy in your daughter's nickname. Call me old-fashioned. You had a bad dad, Octopussy, and he was a criminal. So, leave the word pussy out of the nicknames. I'm just saying. And she offers him to stay for a few days, and he goes to his room, and Octopussy's like, oh my god, I think I love him! So that's 2 people falling in love with Bond. And Kamal Khan's like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I can see the writing on the wall. I'm going to hire someone who throws yo-yo blades to kill this guy. So he goes to this seedy part of Delhi, and the guy's he's like, first of all, is this a 2-story place? Because that's kind of essential for me. I throw the yo-yo blade down, and then I bring it back up, and it slices someone's head off, and it's a lot of fun. And he just does this insane laugh at the end when he accepts the deal to kill Bond. And Kamal Khan's like, are you all right, man? I can trust you with this, right? Because you might be little bats. You okay, fella? And like the yo-yo guy does a demonstration for him, and Kamal Khan's like, what the fuck, man? Well, I just wanted to demonstrate my skills, like my little, I already accepted, I already paid y'all. So Kamal Khan gives him, I'm assuming, the equivalent of $10 to kill Bond. So meanwhile, Octopussy and Bond are chatting, and she's like, I give these girls a purpose, a way of life. I've diversified into hotels, shipping, carnivals, and circuses. It's like, okay, lady, but let's not, the golden goose is smuggling. You're a criminal. Like later on, they say it's going to net them $300 million. Circuses and carnivals, that's your real passion? No, you're a criminal. So let's cut the bullshit. And she's like, I have business in Europe. I'll be gone a week. I think you should stay. And Bond's like, what? Lady, I have a job. I'm actually on a job right now. You know that. I'm investigating for the government. What do you mean stay here for a week and just lounge and just have sex with all your dirty carnies over here? I mean, that does sound like fun, but I'm working right now. And she kind of offers to hire him. And he's like, I'm not for hire. Oh, a man of principle. Naturally, you do it for queen and country. I don't have to apologize to you. I'm a paid assassin for what I am. It's like, lady, I didn't say anything, you psycho. I'm starting to think we should see other people. The fuck is... Why are you so pissed? You offered me to stay here for a week. I can't. I'm working. And then you said, I could use a man like you. Well, I'm not for hire. Oh, and get off your fucking high horse. Like, lady, I already have a job. And I just met you. Insane person. So she storms out, and Bond's like, by God, I'm going to have sex with this woman just because she really annoyed me just now. So he bangs her in the octopus bed. Obviously, her bed's shaped like an octopus. I don't know how you get that, but, when you're a powerful woman like Octopussy, that's the kind of things you get. Picking out that bed, she's like, so what kind of bed would you like, ma'am? Queen, a king? No, octopus. Octopus, okay. Well, that's going to be a little more expensive. And what name should I put this under? So anyway, meanwhile, VJ gets attacked. So that's a bummer. Remember VJ? Well, if you do, then I have some bad news for you. He gets attacked. He's fishing. And he's like, God damn it, I knew I shouldn't have fished by a stairwell. There's a yo-yo assassin about, I know this. But he needs stairs. He needs 2 stories. And where do I go to fish? Right by some stairs. That's VJ's fault. So the yo-yo guy attacks Bond at Octopussy's. Just like post-coitus, which is a real shame. It's so ridiculous. This yo-yo guy's just running around the house on the second floor, just like throwing his blade around. And after a while, Bond's like, okay, fuck your blade. And just takes the wire, just pulls him down. And is like, fuck you, dude. And I love when Bond throws that dude's face through the aquarium and that the octopus just starts face fucking him. Gets pretty graphic. And then Bond and the yo-yo guy fall in the water, and I guess the alligator gets them? That's not the alligator gadget, though. Is that a real alligator? I was always a little confused by that. And they both don't come back up for air, so someone's dead. And if it was just a gadget, does that... I'm very confused. But all the girls in Octopussy are watching, and they're like, well, both of them just got eaten by an alligator. And Octopussy's just like, well, all right, ladies, back to bed. You know, those insane yo-yo people with the blades, maybe this would have gone better and more successful if you just brought some guns. I don't want to tell you how to run your business, but guns work too, you know. So Bond meets up with Q. He's alive. He didn't die. The alligator didn't get him. I guess it was the gadget. And sees that Q has found VJ. And VJ don't look so good. And Bond's like, what happened to VJ? And Q's like, he's just all sliced and diced and fucking dead. That's what happened. Did he say anything? Yeah, he said, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. I thought before death I'd be numb, but my senses are actually heightened. And this is the worst moment of my life. I thought it would be a peaceful, but this is horrible. And then he died. So that's what he said. So anyway, Bond meets with him. Jewelry is only the tip of the tentacle. So yeah, Bond sends him to, I guess, go to like the circus or whatever in Karl Marxstadt, whatever. And remember, 007, you're on your own. Why? Why am I on my own? You don't want any backup? This is a pretty big mission. There's a lot of people that are against me. Maybe a couple other people, now that we know what's going on. I can see the beginning of the movie. If it's like, all right, just go check this out on your own. And then, like, if he's bombarded, it's not anyone's fault. But we know there's a whole army of people that are against him. Why is he on his own? Stupid. I mean, I know it's your first movie and all, but you don't have to be so stupid all the time. Stupid eyebrow guy. Maybe trim those eyebrows. So anyway, we'll take a little break for I don't think we have any advertisements for this movie. But we have some Bond news. Oh, stop me if you've heard it before. There is no Bond news. We did get that Wall Street Journal article. I'm sure if you're a Bond fan, you read that. Where basically Amazon and the Broccoli's are at an impasse. Shocker! Who could have predicted it? That an old school producer like Barbara Broccoli and people who sell fucking mop handles online can't decide on how to run a movie franchise. I have no idea how accurate the article is. I'm sure there has to be some truth to it. It's not surprising that they're not seeing eye to eye. After a while though, you paid all this money. It's like, let the woman do what she does. I mean, we're getting no return for Bond. It at least makes me feel better. At least gives me a reason why they're not moving forward. Because before it's like, why hasn't anything been done for like 6 years? Well, it's just like the norm now. It is weird though. Like, movies are in such a shitty state. Like, how do you move forward with the Bond franchise? And she's adamant. I mean, this is a theater-only movie. They referred to Bond as content. I mean, they referred to Bond as Amazon would refer to Bond. They want to do spin-offs, the exact thing you think they would do. And Broccoli's having none of it, and Broccoli has final say on everything. So it's like, well, what are we going to do? So I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen here. And neither does anyone else. But if that's what the Broccolis say, and they have final say, well then... let them do it. Let them make a fucking movie. God damn. This is going to take so goddamn long. So that's, whatever. That's Bond news. I haven't been watching much Bond lately. The kids have been getting in the way. But here's the great thing about Bond. There's so many movies. There's always a couple of Bond movies that you're in the mood to watch. You'll never get sick of all the Bond movies. And right now, for some reason, On Her Majesty's Secret Service... You Only Live Twice, Casino Royale, like I'm aching to watch those movies. I don't know why those. I just haven't watched them in so long. I'm trying to carve out a night where I can watch them. And I'm recording this in January. My birthday is next month. I'll be 39. For my 40th, that's right, you guessed it, going back to GoldenEye. So lucky you, you have a whole, as long as I keep recording, you have a whole another year of me talking about going to GoldenEye. Remember last time I went to GoldenEye? I never shut the fuck up about it. Every episode. Guess what, guys? 300 days to GoldenEye. Picked out my party shirts. Well, you get to hear that again. For my 40th. It's going to be a fantastic time. And I actually need to take a little break before I come back and do the second movie. So I'll be right back. Well, you're not going to notice that I took a break because I'll come right back. But, you know, for my own sanity, I'm saying I'm taking a break for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So where are we at? They're going to the circus. And, you know, it's a circus. The Dustin Hoffman twins are there throwing knives. Magda has a top hat on. Everyone's laughing. They're having a good time. And so here's the deal. Orlov, he's supplying Kamal Khan with Soviet treasures, like precious artifacts, and he's replacing them with replicas. While Kamal Khan and Octopussy smuggle, I guess, the legit artifacts through her circus. But, like, what's the market for those? Like the Romanov star or whatever. Is someone going to buy that? You can't just, like, go to a pawn shop and sell that. It's like selling the Declaration of Independence or something. It's like, well, yeah, but you can't just go out there and put up a for sale sign. You're going to get arrested. I don't know, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. Their train, by the way, is classy as all get out. It kind of reminds me of Trevelyan's train. I wouldn't mind taking a ride on that train with Octopussy and all her gals. I mean, Gobinda and Kamal Khan, they can stay home, but other than that. So, Orlov on the train replaces all the treasures with a nuke, as you do. And Roger comes in and questions Orlov about it. And he's like, well, the U.S., you're going to set off this nuke, the U.S. is going to retaliate. Against whom? And then Roger just deduces every single thing that their plot is all about, just from him saying against whom. So the explosion at a U.S. base in Germany would trigger Europe to call for disarmament, thinking it was an accident, leaving the borders open for Soviet invasion. So I don't know. I guess that's their plan. And Bond, somebody opens the door, Bond shoots that dude in the head. These guys might be Down syndrome, these guards. Take a look at how they die, all of them. They're like, something's not right with those guys. But they're all dead, and that's cool. Bond kills one of the Dustin Hoffman twins, I guess he knocks him in the head with a cannon and puts him in the cannon and then puts his clothes on, as you do, and then starts driving Orlov's car on the tracks to get to Octopussy's train. And I guess once Orlov's car is found, they find the real jewels, or the fake... Yeah, they find the real jewels. Jeez, I'm so confused. I'm sorry. I didn't take the 300 milligrams of Adderall again. They find the real jewels, and they're like, oh, well, he's a piece of shit, so go get him. And they track him down and kill him. He has some deep words for Gogol, but Gogol's not. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I didn't catch any of that. Could you say that again? Oh, you're dead. So Orlov, hey down. And Bond sneaks into one of the train cars and dresses in one of like the gorilla suits. That's not a little fib I'm telling. He's actually, James Bond's in a gorilla suit. And the other Dustin Hoffman twin, he's just practicing, knife throwing. That's just, that's just what he does in his spare time. Just to deal with stress, he just throws knives. Doesn't ever wonder where his brother is. I mean, they have a show soon. He's actually in the cannon right next to him. It's so stupid. They say it's 11:45 and the gorilla looks at his watch. And I guess he makes a noise, so Gobinda turns around and gets a blade and slices off the fucking gorilla's head. But somehow Roger's already out of the suit and they don't hear him do that? I mean, suspension of disbelief, but that's a bit much. So Roger's on top of the train. He's on the side of the train. The Octopussy's getting a massage, and Quick Draw McGraw, Kamal Khan, comes in and just starts shooting when he sees Bond. He's like, I don't fucking like this dude. I've had enough of him. And it's the third, what did I say? It's the third act of a Bond movie. Bond villains get pretty unhinged at that point. And Octopussy's like, Jesus, Kamal, I'm trying to get a fucking rub down here. God damn. Show a little restraint, guy. He's like, dude, I've played it cool long enough. I've had it. So Bond and Gobinda start fighting on top of the train. I mean, that turban maker deserves a raise because that thing does not move, not an inch. And while we're on the topic, not one hair on Roger's head has moved the entire movie. So props to the hairspray department. I mean, I'm surprised they let him get close to that bed of coals earlier in the movie, you know? One little spark gets close to Roger's head, and your leading man, he's dead. He's an inferno. Just all you hear from his dressing room for 2 hours is just 9 cans of hairspray. So Grishka comes up, one of the twins. Mishka! He's like so excited. And he's like, oh, you're not Mishka. Why would Mishka be fighting Gobinda on top of the train? That's not smart, Grishka. Or Mishka, whatever the fuck your name is. Why would they be fighting? So he takes out his blade. Gobinda's with a katana blade. Again, like, y'all don't want to invest in a gun? It'd be so much easier. I mean, you know, Kamal Khan, he's got a gun. So Bond and Grishka fall off the train. And, I don't know, they run to some little cabin and Bond kills him and stabs him with a knife. This is for my brother. And he kills him. He says, that's for 009. And Grishka's like, who? Oh, the dude from the beginning of the movie. Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Well, guess I'll die now. So Bond gets to the circus and he dresses up like a clown. Gets a ride from like just stereotypical Germans eating sausages and drinking beer, as they do. I mean, if you're counting at home, Bond is dressed up like a Cuban general, Toro, an alligator, dead guy in a bag, a knife twin, a gorilla, and a clown. Hell of a Halloween party for Bond. So they got the nuke at the circus, and Bond's going in there as a clown. The reaction that Gobinda has whenever someone bumps into that nuke will never not be funny. It's just, just please be careful with this. It's very, very delicate canon. So they're watching the circus, and Kamal Khan tells the general he has to go with 45 minutes to detonation. They have to be at least 20 miles away. You don't want to leave a little bit sooner? I'm sure the general will get a blast out of this. I know he won't be disappointed. I like to think as their faces were melting when that nuke actually went off, they would have found that joke funny. Like, oh, now I see what he meant by that. That's a solid joke, and I'm dead. And by the way, how big of a jerk-off is that general? It's like he's 6 years old at this circus. Every stunt clapping his hands like a crazy person. Does this really impress you? It's a bear with like a rod up his ass dancing around. There's some trapeze bullshit. It's carnies. Elephants taking shits. You know, it's not that impressive, but he is just all in on this thing. I'll tell you though, I wouldn't mind taking Magda behind that tent and showing her my own circus, you know what I mean? Huh? You know what that's about? You follow? So Roger disarms the bomb. He's just screaming at everybody like, please let me in here. I'm trying to disarm a nuclear bomb. He doesn't have any credentials or anything that he can like let these people know, hey, this is some real shit. And he just starts getting frustrated, so he just starts beating up carnies to like blow off steam. That's just fun. I mean, just those dirty carnies, they smell, and just to beat them up, just whip their ass in front of everybody. It's just a fun time. And the carnies just start attacking like security guards and stuff. Octopussy takes a fucking gun out of a cop's holster. You can't do that. No matter what happens here today, you're going to prison. You can't steal a cop's gun. That's a big no-no. It's one of the commandments. Look it up. And the general sees the bomb with like 10 seconds left. And he's like, all right, let him go. Oh, let him go? You think so, doctor? And he disarms the bomb. And one of the military guys is like, you did a great job. It's like, well, you didn't. Y'all all suck at your jobs. And it's going in my chart. And then the crowd is also fine after they like assured him everything's safe. Oh, what happened? Well, there was a nuclear bomb that was a second away from disintegrating and liquefying you and all your loved ones and like this whole city. But we disarmed it. And we tried very hard to not have it disarmed, but luckily this clown did the job. And the family's like, well, as long as we weren't in any danger, right? Is Mishka still in that cannon, by the way? There's some dickhead in it. Did he get in that cannon and was like, well, hey, buddy, I think there's someone in here. I think Mishka's still in that cannon. Someone check on him. Is that his final resting place? And then, the bomb's disarmed. I always forget there's like more to this movie. So Bond's like, and now to Dr. Evil. So back to India. Bond and Octopussy and all of her bitches attack as like just as gypsies. This is a ridiculous fight. This is like the only thing I would take out of this movie. This fight sucks. It's just like these supermodel-looking women that are 100 pounds taking on all these like grown men with guns. Like their swings aren't believable. It's just a bad-looking fight. I love that Octopussy gets to Kamal Khan, and he's just throwing documents into the fire, just burning evidence. That always makes me chuckle. And he instantly just throws Orlov under the bus because he's dead. So it's like, it was Orlov. Orlov did everything. Kill Orlov. Leave me alone. I'm good and he's bad, so leave me alone. You left me to be killed alongside with thousands of innocent people. Octopussy. Octopussy. And Octopussy says, hey, that's the name of the movie. That's the greatest pronunciation of Octopussy on the planet. Octopussy. So all these acrobat women defeat all of Kamal Khan's male henchmen. Whatever. Not one female gets hit. This big guy comes out at one point and like throws a few. That's kind of nice. But other than that, they win fairly easily. How are there even trapezes there? This is just whatever. I don't want to hammer home the point, but it's not the best part of the movie. Although Q and Bond coming in on that Union Jack hot air balloon with the Bond theme going, I do enjoy that part. So Kamal Khan and Gobinda take Octopussy and get on the plane. All of a sudden it's like daylight. And Gobinda smacks Octopussy like on the run, like a moving target, on the fly, and just knocks her the fuck out. Puts her on the plane. Bond gets on the back of the plane, and he starts fucking up the whole flight. So Kamal Khan's like, Gobinda, get out there and put an end to this. Out there? And Gobinda must be like, what the fuck, man? Like, I gotta go outside of a plane. It's a bullshit job. It's not cool. And then, in the meantime, Octopussy wakes up and smacks Gobinda in the back. And Gobinda turns around and is like, you picked the wrong time to fuck with me. And just smacks her. And that one comes from the heart. That one is like from the depths of his soul. It just knocks her out. I got another fresh one for you if you want it. You better stay right there. Well, I gotta go out outside this goddamn plane to go chase down this dude that we haven't been able to kill the whole movie. Methinks I'm about to die. I love seeing Kamal Khan just watching him smack Octopussy. Just no emotion, just watches him like, yep, that's a nice smack. Okay. On with the flight. So Gobinda and Bond fight outside the plane, which is a pretty cool stunt. I mean, there's an actual guys on a flying airplane holding on. And, Roger smacks him with an antenna and Gobinda goes flying. And I guess, the Kamal Khan lands the plane and Octopussy and Bond roll out and then Kamal Khan just explodes. So I wish they would have just switched from he disarms the bomb and then right outside they like track Kamal Khan down to his plane and Bond gets on that plane. They could have just done without the whole gypsy fight, but whatever. So we cut to, Bond and Octopussy on Octopussy's boat, and he's acting like he's hurt. He's laughing, but then he's actually not hurt, so they start banging. James! It sounds like something's going on with that last James. Like, he might, I don't want to say something in the anal category, but something happened to really make her exclaim. And the girls are going, in, out, and there's end credits. A classic Bond ending. James. There's end credits. There's Octopussy. There's your full size. There's your big boy. So it was supposed to go head to head with Never Say Never Again, but they pussed out like losers. And they ended up doing better than Never Say Never Again. So yeah, I love this movie. I love everything about it. Nostalgia does play a role. Sure. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the greatest Bond movie of all time. No, I guess it's not. Objectively. It just so happens to be my favorite Bond movie. If you followed the whole episode, I just love every scene. I love everything. It's the biggest comfort Bond movie to me. It's kind of joined the ranks of like special occasion Bond movies. I don't just pop this on anymore in the background. Like Spy Who Loved Me, GoldenEye, Goldfinger, those are like special. I don't watch them that often because it's like, you got to show those movies respect and sit down and watch it. You don't just pop that on in the background. So Octopussy's kind of in that category. And I just love it. If you go through the whole movie, like I love the pre-title sequence. I love the song. I love the auction scene. I love the backgammon scene, the chase after that, Q's lab. I love Octopussy as a girl. I love Kamal Khan as a villain. Gobinda's a great henchman. It's just every scene by scene by scene, the Magda and Bond scene, I just love all of it. Like, I just think it's great. I remember last time I ranked them all, I watched The Spy Who Loved Me and I was like, all right, finally someone leaped Goldfinger. I can like legit say something's leaped Goldfinger. And I went into Octopussy with a bad attitude. Like, all right, it's going to be like 4th or 5th. And after I watched Octopussy, I was like, it's so crystal clear now. This is my favorite Bond movie. I love this movie. And I'm not alone, maybe not ranking it number one, but Bond fans have really come to appreciate this movie more and more over the years. Critics, I could give a shit about what critics think about Bond movies because they're always wrong. But critics don't view this movie very well. They don't view Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan very well. But fans have come to appreciate this movie and just recognize it for the good time that it is. Love Octopussy. What can I say? It's my favorite Bond movie. I don't know if it's still going to be on my next ranking when we get a new Bond movie in 40 years. But, as for now, it's king. It's king of St. John Smythe's list. So there you go. There's Octopussy. I don't know if I did a very good job of explaining why it's my favorite, but it is my favorite. It's a fact. Just said it. Final answer. So next time, hopefully I'll be back soon. Might do A View to a Kill. And in the meantime, why don't you pour yourself a little daiquiri? If it takes me a while to get back to you, pour yourself a little daiquiri. 2 parts rum, light rum, and don't go Bacardi, go something nice. You be nice. 2 parts light rum, 1 part lime juice, 1 part simple syrup. And I actually kind of back off the simple syrup a little bit because it can be a little sweet sometimes. So if you back off 1/4 of an ounce the simple syrup, maybe tack on an extra 1/4 ounce of the rum. But don't tell anybody. That's just our little secret. Just a little extra shot of rum. All right, hopefully A View to a Kill next. We'll see you then.